Hey everyone, welcome back to Dev Parkour. I'm Brian, and in this video, I want to address a question that I've gotten a few times since I've been talking about Valence. If you haven't been watching the channel recently, you might not know that I've been working on a project called Valence. It's a product management tool, a project management tool designed for software product teams. And the question that's come up is basically, why am I building another product management tool? We've got Jira, we've got Pivotal Tracker, we've got, Trello, if you want to use it like that, Asana, and then some of the newer ones, Monday, Linear. Some people use Notion as a project management tool. So why am I building yet another product management tool? And I want to be very specific. I am building a product management tool, and I make the distinction between product and project because I do feel like there are tools out there that are specifically designed for projects, bodies of work that have a distinct beginning, a distinct deliverable at the end, a distinct end to them, and you execute the project, go from beginning to end, and then you're done with the project. A product, on the other hand, is something that obviously it starts somewhere. Maybe it starts with an MVP. Maybe at this point in time, it's something that you already have. It's a legacy piece of software or something like that. But it continues on potentially in perpetuity, but at least until it eventually goes into obsolescence, right? It's not at a particular milestone, at a particular finished point, at a particular date. It is done and stopped, and you don't work on it anymore. It continues to have a life. So one of the key components of Valence has to be that it handles that increasing lifetime really well. That might mean lots and lots of information, lots and lots of pieces that get tracked. Growing backlogs, how do we handle that? But ultimately, where I started was, I want to think about products in terms of how each member of the team and the team as a whole is thinking about the things they need to think about at each step of the process and during each activity. So I've divided kind of the whole process into different, I want to call them phases, but I'm not talking in terms of like waterfall. You might have a design phase or a requirements phase, and then a design phase, and then an execution phase, and then a delivery phase. Not talking about that. It's more the activities that you're going through. So the first one I've identified is ideation, just coming up with ideas. And realistically, this might come from anywhere. This might be product people, this might be engineers. This is just, I have an idea of something that I want to build, or something that would be cool to have, or something that would be valuable to have, right? We're not judging here, not vetting. It's just, I have an idea, as complete or as incomplete as it might be when it comes to your mind. You want to be able to record that somewhere. Valence makes it super easy to record those ideas in as finished or unfinished a form as they are. The next step or phase or activity is what I'm calling refinement. So basically, taking those ideas that may or may not be in a finished or well-described state and adding more detail to them. That might include making designs, that might include describing in more detail what you actually wanted to do. And the key point here is ideation is kind of a reminder for yourself that you had this idea and you want to explore it further. Refinement is being able to communicate that idea to other people on your team. So again, this might happen, anyone can refine the idea. Probably it's the person who had the idea originally, but it might be more of a team activity. Then next up, you have planning. And this is where you start to get this jumbled mess of ideas, which are in no particular order. You're not going to be thinking of them necessarily in terms of what you need to do first versus what you need to do last, or even what provides the most value versus the least value. In planning, you do identify what provides the most value versus the least value, what needs to happen first, what dependencies exist, that sort of thing, and ultimately turn that into a plan for a particular iteration, whatever that means to your team. In Valence, we're actually moving more toward Scrum, so I'll get to that in a future video, but for now we'll just say iteration, whatever that means for your team. So Valence supports a very clear way of taking all of this information that you've put into it and turning it into a linear progression of things that you would do, ultimately implementing things that you want from the system. And then next you have execution, right? It needs to support how are you actually going to do the things that you've decided you're going to do. This is primarily engineers, QA, documentation, whatever makes up your project team or your product team. And so Valence has ways to support that activity as well, which is probably, it's kind of where we started. And to me, I feel like that's the most obvious part of the entire workflow. But at the same time, it's very nuanced because execution takes us out of the project management tool, the product management tool, and into like an IDE or a documentation platform, something else. And that means that the way a lot of project management tools or product management tools work, where you're changing values within a system or dragging cards across a Kanban board, it doesn't really work. So that's something that we're in the process of supporting right now. And then finally, there's feedback and reporting. And there's probably, as we get more into this, this is the most immature of all of the phases or activities as we've ideated and designed right now. But as we get into it, we'll probably subdivide that further to address specific job functions, roles, executives versus product management, that sort of thing. But at the very least, there's making sure that we can see that things are done. Things that we've completed are done. Obviously, Valence supports that. That was, I think, one of the first things I implemented back a few months ago. But then finally there's reporting. And as I said, we're still in the process of fleshing that out, but that obviously represents a different, certainly potentially different audience and a very different way of looking at the information, right? It's all the same information, but we're not going to be showing lists of tickets. We're going to be showing statistics on how many tickets were completed or how many requests were completed in a particular time frame, how much closer we are to accomplishing a particular goal than we were at another point in time, how close we are to accomplishing that goal, that sort of thing. So it's a very different mentality than execution, planning, ideation, refinement, any of those. And that's really the key part of Valence. Valence is designed around both the people participating and the roles participating and how they think about the information that they're dealing with, right? So we're not necessarily going to present a list of issues, a list of requests at the ideation phase. That's not very helpful, right? We want to enable that unstructured, I have an idea, let me just brain dump onto the page sort of thing. Similarly in refinement, I have an idea, I need a way to turn that into sub-requests, blockers, build those relationships with other requests, and flesh out the description of what this particular request means, and very easily connect that with the other requests that it relates to. So that's really the key point in Valence, and that's why I'm super excited about what Valence is and what Valence can be, because it's really built from the ground up, not for a particular job function, not for a particular type of project or even type of process. Though, like I said, we are kind of going to solidify on Scrum for simplicity and clarity of messaging. But it's designed around how people think, how software product teams are thinking about what they're doing during each of these activities and optimizing specifically for each one. So hopefully that answered that question. If you have more questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. If you think I'm totally off base here, let me know. I don't think I am, but if you think I am, go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, definitely subscribe to see more content like this. And in the next few videos, I hope to actually show off Valence. It's not for lack of time, or no, it is for lack of time that I haven't done it. It's not because I don't have anything to show, it's just I haven't sat down and built the videos showing demos of Valence. So in the next couple weeks, you'll see some demos of Valence, talking about some of the features that implement what I just described. So you'll see me going through and showing ideation. You'll see me going through refinement. You'll see me going through execution and planning, and if it's built by then, I might show some reporting as well. But stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed, click that notification bell so you'll know when those videos are launched. I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.